Hey Rosebuds, it's your girl Nairi Rose, and we are back with episode 2 of the Winter Healing Series. I am so excited to be doing this and just treating this as therapy. This is therapeutic for me, and I hope it's therapeutic for you. Now, the Rose Garden Podcast is all about talking about trending topics and social issues. So there may be times where I might bring up something that's happening that I've seen on social media, and I am in no way, shape, or form attacking these people's character. I'm just speaking on it as I know that we are facing tumultuous times. I know that we're going through a spiritual warfare, and I know that more people need to use their voice and their platform to help others navigate and get through. I have my notes. I'm going to be looking at my notes. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's just because there are things that I do not want to miss. I don't want to miss anything that I feel like can resonate with someone else and resonate with someone else's spirit and help them know that no matter how hard this life is, no matter how hard things are for you right now, please don't give up. It's not worth giving up right now. Get rest. If you need rest, relax, take a deep breath. But we need you. I need you. So yeah, let's get into it. This episode is called Shedding Old Petals. And that is just so beautiful because, again, we are talking about roses and the transformation that a rose goes through in the wintertime and how that is symbolic to our transformations as people, individuals, and just making connections, especially because I'm still looking for my community. I haven't found my community quite yet, but I know there are people who are not just like-minded, but can push me and challenge me to a deeper level of thinking. I don't know everything. I say that with the most love for myself. I don't know everything. I'm still learning and I'm figuring things out. I'm always researching, and I'm not feeling guilty about going down the rabbit hole. I don't want to feel guilty about it. Now, when you go down the rabbit hole, you have to be careful, but you go at your own risk. Shedding old petals and letting go with grace. That is our topic for today's discussion. I have some core symbolisms. I'm going to include them in the episode notes. Visit heyrosebuds.com for those episode notes. I am so deeply motivated by figurative language and how words can be used and reused and how they can have all types of different interpretations. It's just up to us to decide how we discern how we use our words, how other people use words, how people use words against us, so on and so forth. The core symbolism for today's episode is roses shed their leaves to protect their core during winter. Typically, when you see a rose, it has a stem and it has leaves attached to it, as well as thorns. And to know that roses have to shed to protect their core is powerful because we're always shedding. We're constantly shedding, whether it's dead skin, hair, emotions, feelings, validations, concerns. We always shed things. We always shed our skin. And when we shed our skin, we have to be aware and be mindful that when we make changes, sometimes, not everybody, we make drastic changes and then we go into a state of shock because we're like, why do we do that? Why do we dye our hair pink or green or red? Why do we make this rash decision? But that is your soul, your spirit letting go and shedding and telling you it's okay to do those things. It's okay to shed and let go of the baggage and just be and just exist. When you let go and you realize the beauty in letting go, you realize the beauty in not holding on to the things that trouble you and hurt you and give you nightmares, it is the most liberating, freeing experience. That doesn't mean not holding yourself accountable. It just means knowing that, yes, I made this decision. No, it might not have been the best. Or yes, I was in this relationship. No, it may not have been the best, but I still love myself. I survived, and I'm going to push through. And so when I think about shedding old petals, the first thing that comes to my mind is rejection, because I talk about rejection a lot, and I wonder, like, why is it that when someone else or some other opportunity does not come through, why does it hurt? Like, why does it feel like neglection? But it's not, because we know rejection is protection. And so I thought about an experience that I had when I was younger. There was a time where America's Got Talent and American Idol, all of these shows were like on the rise, and they would harvest people to come to their auditions. And it wasn't just those platforms, it was all types of inner city pageants and platforms that were scouting for talent. And so, being that I was in the Bay Area, that's where I was born and raised mostly, I had a parent who said, okay, let's try it. Let's go see. Let's go to a pageant. And this is foreign to me, but I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling cool, but I'm not understanding the dynamic of a superstar or having a genius mind. I'm just a kid. So we go to this pageant, and we get through some auditions, and I'm like, oh, we're passing, like we're clearing stuff. And so they had 3 rounds, like 3 final rounds. And I made it past the first round. And so I'm on the second round, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to be a star. Like, I can't believe this. And after the second round, they said no, like I was cut. We found out I was cut. And I think being a child and knowing that you were let go, knowing that you were cut away from something or an opportunity, it does sting a little bit. It stings, because you instantly feel like I wasn't good enough. Why didn't they choose me? And then couple that with being raised in a single parent household, that's never a good look for a person, especially a child. So when you like rinse and repeat these lessons and you go through these lessons, and time moves forward, you're judging yourself more critically and harshly, because you're like, wow, all this time has passed and I haven't learned from the lesson. I haven't learned to let go. We hold on to the most troubling things, the most frantic, frightening variations of ourselves. And yes, we are supposed to use those experiences to watch out for danger and be more aware and have self-awareness. But at the same time, when you are constantly living in those past cycles and those loops and not just throwing that crap away in a dumpster, you're becoming the crap in the dumpster, if that makes sense. Like, you're becoming the very thing that you did not want to become. And so when you do that to yourself, you're kind of just at a standstill. I kept going through this, and I still go through this, but I'm just learning how to let it go faster, let those petals go. Because when you harp on what people have done to you, you have no idea why it happened in the first place. You have no idea why those situations occurred and why those people couldn't carry you, or why those places did not offer you the promotion that you wanted, or the job that you wanted, or the award that you wanted. There are so many things that we desire, but we really have to sit back and say, do I think I really could have held that space? Do I really think that space was intended for me? I cannot control the algorithm. I know my algorithm does not look like most people's, but when I have my algorithm and I pull up my social media and I see everything top of the morning, it's like it musters a bunch of confusion. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on is, I know it's kind of dwindling down, but I still keep seeing remnants of this conversation with Ayesha Curry. And she went on someone else's platform and did a podcast interview. And next thing you know, it's Ayesha Curry still, not happy in her marriage. And disclaimer, I don't know these people. I'm not defending them or taking up for them. I'm not clout chasing. I'm not doing those things. I'm just taking what I've been through in life and just looking at it from my own perspective. And I'm just like, dang, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. This lady is talking about her life and her experience as a woman and how she did not know the Most High was going to bless her life in a way that the Most High did because she had her own dreams. And we talked about dreams last episode and just how we have these big dreams and then we see ourselves getting farther or further and further away from them. And so I'm just listening to this lady talk, and like, people need to understand or understand that we all walk our different paths of life. We all make our various choices. We cannot keep comparing ourselves to other people. In comparison to what Miss Curry or Mrs. Curry said, I did not really hear anything that was a red flag or a cause for alert. I just heard a woman express her true emotions about wanting a career for herself, because most women desire attention. Most women desire to be seen and to feel powerful and to be in control. And then you have just a bunch of noise. People in the comments trolling, just saying that she doesn't love her man. And I don't think that's true. I think that when you get married, and I'm only speaking on this as a married woman, as a married person, when you get married, there is the honeymoon phase. Whether that's a trip to Paris, whether that is an excursion on a cruise ship, or you're in the Bahamas, it does not matter. When you get married, it's a honeymoon phase because you're like, I did it. I got married. I got my man. I got my woman. We good. But people don't really talk about how, like, if not done properly, you don't know who you're marrying. You might see the potential or their potential from afar, but once you're like with that person and you're married to them, there's a huge transformation, a huge shift. And so she said,
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married.
You go and you hang out with him. Mm-hmm. What is your headspace? Are you seeing him in like a could this be something kind of way? Or are you like, no?
I just didn't think it was going to be a thing. I thought we would be friends. Yeah. I was going to be like the girl out there getting it.
And when she said, her wanting to be a businesswoman and chase after her career and seeing the backlash from that, it's kind of just like, you can't say anything. People are actively trying to let things go and get things off of their chest so they can move forward and move on to the next levels. And how are you going to move forward when people are going to just always be there scrutinizing you, scrutinizing what you say and do? Because the only reason why they can do that is because of your behavior. And so I understand the other aspect of, well, Steph Curry is this. He's this big guy, but I think the point is being missed that maybe both of them didn't know what was going to happen and didn't know how the Most High was going to bless them. And so they had to just navigate it together. And people always want to talk about percentages in relationship, but forget about the percentage. It's true partnership. You have to let go of control, and you have to let go of wanting to be in charge and wanting it to just be your program, main character energy. I was part of that canon of main character energy. It's all about me, and I'm still a little bit leaning towards main character energy. I'm not gonna lie, but when you've been through things in life and you realize you're gonna join forces with somebody, and that's not just in marriage, it's in business, it's in collaborating. We don't set our boundaries enough. We don't tell people enough, these are my boundaries, this is where I am. And then if you do tell people your boundaries and they cross them, like my problem in the past is not telling people, and I'm not going to say in the past because I still struggle with this, is not telling people quicker, you're crossing my boundary. Like, please. I don't know what this is, but it needs to stop. In collaborative spaces, it's harder because when you are teaming up with multiple people, anybody is liable to switch up on you. Anybody is able and capable to be a sheep in wolf's clothing. And if not a sheep, it's just you're welcoming people and you're opening your arms to people to come into your magnetic field. And you don't know what that comes with. What hurts communities in general is just a lack of clarity and communication. We interpret and misinterpret so much information and data on a regular basis, hence why the algorithm is doing what it does and is showing all of this chaos, all of this toxicity, and then it's just becoming harder and harder to let go of your own problem and your own trauma and triggers when you're so focused on what all of the celebrities have going on and what all of the elites have going on. Like, we're not living that lifestyle. Like, it's glamorous. Yes, it is. It's pretty. I don't know. Like, it's so put together, but when that's not your life and your existence, you can run into a wall. You can run into a wall trying to maintain and keep up with appearances. And so just to conclude my point about the Curry family and their situation, like, you can't control what people think. Simply put, you can't control what people think, what people say, how they switch up on you, how they are cool with you 1 minute and next thing you know, you're blocked.
Blokken Instagram, blokken. Block.
And I used to not like blocking people because I thought it was a sign of weakness. Like, I thought if I blocked you, I'm saying that I'm weak and I can't handle it. But now I'm starting to see like the luxury and just block, let it go. I am the queen. Actually, I've slowed down, so I won't label myself as a queen. I take that back. But I am notorious for switching up my information, my contact. I don't know. I did that a lot when I was a teenager and a young woman. I switched up my phone number. I didn't want nobody to contact me. And who's to say people were even contacting me? I just knew to keep switching up my number. It was like running and escaping. But essentially, I'm still not letting go because I'm thinking about the things that I'm running and escaping from. And so the lesson that I want to leave with you all is letting go isn't about losing. It's about making space for new growth. And a lot of people look at letting go as taking an L.
Firmly grasp it in your hand.
Especially when in a relationship, someone let you go. You might feel like, no, I want to fix it. How can I fix it? I want it to show you more. Or how can I prove myself? Give me one more chance to, appeal to you. And it's, no, what's the lesson? What did you learn from that experience, that relationship? Why did you gravitate to those people? And then if there was a drastic separation, then you need to sit down and foster, something new, something else. I saw another video from another podcaster, and it was about Melyssa Ford, and I guess she recently split from the Joe Budden Podcast. And as a podcaster, someone who's learning about it and still perfecting my craft, I do pay attention to other podcast pages, not too heavily, but, I just shout out to all the people that are speaking up and using their platform to share stories and to add to the canon of dialogue. And when it comes to Melyssa Ford and her position, she had a powerful position being on the Joe Budden podcast. Mr. Holcomb was like, Miss Ford, she's a video vixen. And when people think of women's body counts or they think of women's sex appeal.
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
It's kind of just like, know your place, woman. And that's the energy and vibes that I got from the videos. Like, you old, nobody wants you, you washed up. And so I was having a debate with my spouse about it, and I was looking at the video.
But speaking of podcasts, still no confirmation as to what happened, but there's a lot of speculation of what happened to Melyssa Ford on the Joe Budden show.
We knew that was going to go bad.
That, because nobody...
Somebody said she quit and suing.
Oh, that's been one of the stories floating around there too, so yeah.
What else is she going to do? She's finished.
I'm not here for the male gaze anymore. Like, that's another thing. And you want to know...
I'm here for that.
I'm not here for it anymore, because...
Not anymore.
No, because they're not my demo. I mean, men will just toss you aside for like the newest ingenue.
The whole time I'm watching this video, I'm thinking, like, this lady was in a car accident. Like, this lady, like, she almost lost her life. Yes, she might have separated. Yes, she might not have been the wisest, but she got the opportunity. Like, we can let go of her near-death experience and not talk about or cover that, but we gonna not let go of her past being a video vixen and running the game.
No, your wholeness can get deleted.
People be so concerned with people body counts and what bodies you got, just to see if your roster is impressive, like just to see like, oh, to judge you further, like, oh, you got him, or oh, you got, and so it just makes the whole idea of letting go clouded and convoluted, but it's not that difficult to understand. I've had my own experiences in relationships where I've been judged, stranded. I was going to say left for dead, but I've been in situations where I have to be real with myself. I knew based on the treatment that I was getting, like, this is not somebody I want to build with. With all due respect, this is not somebody I want to grow with. So I found it perplexing to like still replay these relationships, and I would get angry at myself. I would be like, get out my head, like, stop, get out, shoot.
Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
But now I'm like, okay, my memory keeps jogging this moment because I'm missing what I'm supposed to be shedding, what I'm supposed to be letting go. And it always led me back to myself. It always led me back to my own behaviors. And how, like, in the grand scheme of things, let me not do that. In the grand scheme of things, you have to just know that what happened. It happened for a reason. You were blessed to be in this person's circumference for the time that y'all had, the good times that y'all had. And you honor and cherish those moments. For the negatives, though, we honor and cherish the lessons that we learned. Even if that means those people need to get the entire away. If they need to get away and be out of your life, you have that right. You have that right. And if it naturally happens, then you could just say, chalk it up to fate, chalk it up to destiny. You have your free will to make those decisions. Some of us are stronger than others to cut people off, but you have to know when to cut people off, because they will lead you into danger, into temptation, into lustful thinking. Another subject.
Another one.
Matter that is important that I see on my algorithm is Blueface and Krishan.
Was it a girl or a guy?
What kind of question was that?
So it was a girl?
I'm trying to relate to bro.
Why are you relating?
I told you I took self-defense classes.
Bro, what are you relating for?
Again, I don't know these people. I don't want the smoke. I'll be ready if it happens, but I don't want no smoke. But I am going to talk about it because I'm tired of seeing y'all on the timeline. Some people might not know who these people are. If you don't, then you are the true chosen one. But waking up and seeing all of this banter and back and forth, all of this playing around with children and children who may or may not have special needs, like the internet is so loud. The internet is so loud. And so when you see how people interact, it's an arena. And when you see it and you're seeing these characters take the world stage and do what they do, it's disturbing. It's alarming. And so being that I've been in toxic relationships, I'm grateful that, they haven't been on public display. Although I did have a situation where I did something first. I did something and I hold myself accountable. And the person that I did it to retaliated. And it cost me. This is uncomfortable for me to talk about, but I'm going to get through it. My information was put out publicly. And when it hit the internet, my high school friends saw it. My coworkers saw it. Family members saw it. Everybody that was in my community saw me in a not so pretty light. And it did something to my spirit to where it told me, like, that rejection that I felt as a child going to that pageant, you're not chosen, you're not good enough. Like, having somebody say, well, I could do you one better, it put me in my place. It put me in my place to know, like, you don't mess around with people because they could show you better than they could tell you. And when I already knew it, but I was so naive to so many things to where, I'd just be appalled. I'd be alarmed to see people be so vulnerable on camera, to see people, whether they're dancing or being funny during their comedic skits. Like, when I see people just wilding on the internet, I just know that, and it's not even, because I be seeing millennials popping it on the internet, and shout out to them. But I know personally that if you did anything to, and still to this day, if you do anything to alter your image, people will tear you down. They will rip you to pieces.
You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what. I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man.
And of course, why would you put yourself in that predicament? But things just happen. And so it's up to you to let it go, because if you don't let it go, you're going to carry the burdens of that pain. And some people don't care. They don't care about their skeletons. They don't care about their secrets. But I'm a person, I care. Shoot, I care about what I've done in the past. Like, I want to be able to be like, okay, I'll release the files on myself before somebody come around and tell me, oh, I know this about you, or I know what happened to you 10 years ago, because you didn't help me 10 years ago. So why are you going to expose it now? Why are you? And so when we thought, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself. You don't need to keep carrying the weight of, I did this in 1999. Like, let it go so that you could be your best self. And so this is all about healing. This is all about shedding those leaves. I recently saw Erykah Badu, and she came to do her thing and celebrate her anniversary of Mama's Gun. And she's so eccentric and so cool. She knows how to shed her leaves. She knows how to shed her petals and do it gracefully. And so you gotta just let go with grace, because you don't want to be bag a lady. You gon' miss your bus. You can't hurry up, cause you got too much stuff when they see you coming. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But bag lady, you don't want to be a bag lady. You don't want to miss your bus because you got too much going on. I want to close with scripture. I know first episode I opened, this episode I want to close, and it says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22. You know that you've been through things. You know that people have misunderstood you. You know who loves you. You know who doesn't support you and love you the way that you need. All of these things are there inside you. You just need to have discernment and make the best decisions for you so that you can help other people. If you can't cast your cares onto the Most High, who's there for you, who's protecting you, who has your back, you're gonna feel defeated by the world. You're gonna feel that pressure. You're gonna worry about them bills and you're gonna let them pile up. You have to have clarity within the mind so you can have clarity within your space, so that eventually, what did we talk about? Create. You're going to be able to create. We talked about you being able to clear up your space and your mind and your time to be creative. I read something on Substack, and shout out to Tim, because he gave a list of things you should know in your 20s and 30s as a 38-year-old man. And basically he was saying, like, being busy is played out. That is not essential to your letting go and your growing and your growth and moving forward. If you're always busy, then you're always stifled and stagnant. There's no opportunity to be flexible. There's no opportunity to move around. So I'm working on not being so busy, and then just knowing, okay, if I need to do this task, I'm going to allot 30 minutes. If I need to do this task, I'm going to only give this 5 minutes. I want to have it controlled and organized, but also I know that if I'm going over 45 minutes to accomplish this task, I'm not letting go. I set a SMART goal and I'm not meeting that goal. I need to let it go. I need to just drop what I'm doing and move on. That's the only way you're going to expand. Please check out heyrosebuds.com, where you can find the notes for this episode, as well as this week's weekly rose care practice, where I am aligning myself with intentional practices to help not only myself, but to help you. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode as I have. And I just want to say thank you for spending time in the Rose Garden, where healing isn't loud, it's layered, gentle, and personal. I'll definitely be meeting you in the next episode. I'm just so proud that we're pushing through together. And before I forget, I have an affirmation for you. I release what no longer nourishes me. My letting go is my liberation. And always remember, when life gives you thorns, search for roses. Peace.